guys, it's XayLi of XayLiBarclay.com. You can also find me across all social media at XayLi Barclay. So today we are talking about how to know when it's time for you to move. And this is a thing because I've gotten a lot of questions about it. Like, how did I know that I should move from New York City to Dallas? Now, keep in mind, this is not for everybody. Maybe you are comfortable wherever you are. Maybe you're cool with where you're living. Maybe you have like deep rooted, responsibilities. Maybe you bought a house. Maybe you bought a condo. Maybe, you're just happy, and that's fine. But this is for the people who just feel like they've been thinking about it. Like, how do I really know when I want to move, So I wanted to share a few things that just helped me, so I'm going to share a few things that helped me know I wanted to move. And I'm also going to share a few reasons why I left New York City and moved to Dallas, right? So I'm also going to link a few things down below in the description or above if we're on Facebook in the description so that you could understand my full journey if this is your first time just connecting with me. So you can know a little bit more about who I am and really make sense of what I'm sharing. So the first thing that, the first sign is if you feel stagnant or you feel like you're yearning for growth or you just feel over your current environment, that's a sign. That's a sign that, hey, maybe moving might help because it gives you a whole new perspective and it gives you a new feeling of freedom, and you're kind of able to choose what you want. And I'm all about making choices that are beneficial to my future. So you're kind of able to choose, like, where you want to live. You're kind of able to look around. You're kind of able to pick out exactly what you want, as opposed to being somewhere because you grew up there or just because it was your only option or something like that, right? So that's definitely a sign that, you want to move, you want to grow, you want to see more. You've grown out of, or you outgrown where you currently are, and that's totally okay. It's a feeling, and maybe moving to somewhere else, another state, another country, might really, just rectify that feeling, that pacify, I should say, that feeling of being stagnant and being stuck. And that's kind of how I felt. And I just felt like I didn't want to move to another part of New York. I wanted to leave New York completely. The second thing is a lot of us try to patch things up. So we try to, it's kind of like if you have a, if you get cut, you find a, what would you call that? A bandage for it, right? So you travel a lot, but when you get back home, you still feel completely empty. And that would happen to me as well. You guys know that I was born in Trinidad and Tobago. I would go back a lot and then come back and I would still feel stagnant in New York. I would still feel like I'm just around an environment that I outgrew. And that's okay too. So if you travel a lot, but when you get back home or you get back to your job, you still feel like I'm doing the same old thing again, maybe it's time to reevaluate your surroundings and, move somewhere new. And nothing is wrong with that. So dreams is another one. Like, if you have been dreaming about doing something specific and you know that where you currently reside is not the place that you want to be, or you feel like you can't accomplish your dreams where you are, definitely think about moving somewhere else. Because if you move somewhere else, you're able to then, or if you move somewhere that can help you accomplish your dreams or be around more creative people who are in line with what you're doing. If you feed off of other creatives and where you live, you don't find that. Example, if you live in Portland and you know that you want to be an actor and you move to LA, you'll find people that share your creative vibe or share that buzz, or, just things like that. Or even if you live in New York City and you feel like there are, like for me in New York City, there are creatives everywhere, bloggers everywhere, people that kind of did what I did everywhere. And moving to Dallas, which is more corporate and they don't have as much, I would say, artists like me here, it was really good for me to move here because I run my own business. So I'm able to stand out more in a less saturated market. So follow your dreams. Like maybe moving somewhere, so that's up to you. You have to evaluate if it's gonna be better for you to move somewhere else or stay where you are. Also, memories. If you have bad memories about where you are, or you feel like you've done everything that there is to do, don't be afraid to move. Like, you know, like if you feel like you're stagnant and the things around you aren't like making you feel good anymore, or you feel like you just want to start an entirely new life, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and see what else is out there. So start doing research, start looking for jobs, start looking up apartments, start the process. And that's something that I had to take in my own, like, I was like, if God is telling you get up and move somewhere else, then what's stopping you? So I started applying for apartments. I started looking around, seeing what the place is like. It's kind of like a form of manifestation. Like, I really want to leave here, so I need to know what I would feel like, or what my being would feel like being somewhere else and not where I was. And that really, really helped. We have the internet now. Before, people kind of moved places not knowing where they were. I moved to Dallas without coming to see Dallas. Luckily, it worked out well for me and I really like it. But look around, talk to people, connect with people online, see who else has moved to the place that you want to move. What did they share about their journey and experiences in that place? You just never know. So start putting things into action, or start just looking, or, you know, freeing your mind in that new place that you want to be. So now I'm going to share with you guys kind of like why I left New York City. Like, I know New York is the place that everybody wants to live. It's the place that everybody dreams of going to. And I came from Trinidad 12 years ago to New York City, and I thought it was the thing, you know, like the big thing. But I realized that I outgrew it. I outgrew the city. I had seen everything. I think that people who live in New York City have a different perspective from the people who live elsewhere and would like to move there. I know every single time I tell someone that I came from New York City to Dallas, they look at me like I have 5 heads, because they're like, you moved from a dream to somewhere where I want to leave. And it's the same thing that I said before. If you grew up somewhere, try to explore the world and see what else is out there. You get what I'm saying? Like, you end up staying exactly where you grew up, and you just feel like you probably haven't accomplished more in life, or, you know, and I'm not saying that's everyone, but that's just my perspective of it. So in New York City, the quality of life, I would say, is lower because you pay so much more for everything. So yes, you make more money in a city like New York. Like, you know, obviously you'll get paid because the cost of living in different places might be lower. And so you have to get paid more in New York City, but the city eats it up. It completely eats up everything. So it's kind of like a lose-lose, like, I feel like when you move out of New York City, you get more bang for your buck. Example, the apartment that I live in now is almost 1,000 square feet. And I know that the amount I pay would be like $4,000 in New York. So I really, really, really appreciate that, because I pay a little less than half of that, right? So, yeah. Think about that. Like, think about that. Your quality of living, I would say, is better. Like, the amount that I spend when I go out to eat in Dallas is much more when I go out to eat in New York. Also for me, because I work for myself and I work from my home a lot, my building now has an amazing workspace. But before in New York, I would work from my home, and so the winter would be really depressing. And when you think about it, I'm an island girl. Like I said, I was born in Trinidad, and so I feel like it's kind of like I thrive on the sun. So in New York, when you think about it, you have 3 seasons out of the year that are cold, basically, like spring. I mean, it's beautiful. Spring and fall are beautiful, but it's still on the colder side and the warmer side. And then you have 3 months of summer, and then you head back into that cold. Here in Dallas, it's warm in December sometimes, or, you know, it gets cold probably like January, February, and March it starts, you know, it's not as cold as New York. And the snow. At first, I loved snow, but let me tell you, that does not last too long. The other thing is, when you go to other cities and you travel more, you realize how dirty New York City is. New York City is extremely dirty, right? And I love it. I love the city itself, but it's just claustrophobic, and it's just like piled, everything is piled on top of the other. And the streets are just not, I wish if New York was clean, it would be. I remember a few years ago, I went to LA and then I came back to New York and I was totally confused. Like, why is New York so dirty compared to LA? And I'm not ungrateful here. It's just, I needed that change, and it feels so good. Recently, I went back to New York and I couldn't wait to come back to Dallas. So it's much cleaner here than there. Maybe I'll do an entire why I left New York video, but that's just a few things or a few reasons why. You know, I just feel like the quality of living elsewhere or outside of New York is just better. And a lot of people are so scared to leave. But for me, I'm just all about jumping and learning to fly on the way down. But let me know if this video was helpful to you, or let me know how you felt about this video. I know this may not resonate with everyone, but yeah. So I'll definitely talk to you guys soon. Please be sure to comment, share, somebody needs this, and subscribe, or click follow if we're on Facebook. I love you guys, and I will definitely talk to you pretty soon.